Explanation of Psalm 23 to 2-6. Psalm 23 is a popular passage from the Bible that speaks about trusting God's provision and guidance, even in the midst of difficult situations. In verse 2, the psalmist speaks about how God provides for his needs by making him lie down in green pastures and leading him beside still waters. This imagery speaks to the idea that God provides everything that the psalmist needs in order to rest and be nourished. The green pastures represent a place of abundance where the psalmist can find nourishment, while the still waters represent a place of peace and rest where he can be refreshed. In verse 3, the psalmist speaks about how God restores his soul and leads him in paths of righteousness. This speaks to the idea that God not only provides for our physical needs, but also cares for our spiritual well-being and guides us in the right direction. Verse 4 speaks about how even in the darkest moments of life, the psalmist trusts in God's protection and comfort. The imagery of the rod and staff represents God's protection and guidance, providing comfort even in the midst of danger. In verse 5, the psalmist speaks about God's provision and care even in the presence of enemies. The idea of preparing a table before the psalmist speaks to the idea of feasting and abundance, even in the presence of those who seek to do him harm. Finally, in verse 6, the psalmist speaks about how God's goodness and mercy will follow him all the days of his life and how he will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This is a testament to the psalmist's trust in God's provision and care, even in the face of difficulties, and speaks to the idea that he will be with God forever.